Hi, welcome to episode 507 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. My name is Laura. I'm also known as Fluffy Kira on Twitter. No, I am Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Blue Sky. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode show notes will be. And I have my patterns for sale in my Etsy shop and also my handspun yarns, and that is also the Corner of Knit and Tea. Hi, how are you? I am a little discombobulated on this Monday, February 3rd. About an hour ago, I had to go to a team meeting, so I made myself a nice hot cup of tea and enjoyed it. And when the meeting was over, I got everything together to podcast. And as I was winding a skein of yarn off of my wheel, I knocked over what was left of that cup of tea, luckily no longer hot, all over my keyboard, desk, carpet, everything. So I have cleaned up and we're going to attempt to do this. But lest you think this is a really smooth podcast and show, sometimes there's a little bit of trouble behind the scenes. So, we're going to skip the tea today because I don't really have any left and I'm just kind of done with it. So I hope that you are doing well. I am coming to you from just outside Kansas City, where it is shockingly a lovely day today. Yesterday was about 50 degrees. Today is actually 65 and sunny. I went outside and took some pictures of my latest finished objects. We are enjoying the thaw, but it is not to last for long because come Wednesday, we're expecting freezing rain and maybe some snow. So the Midwest is a little bit of a you get what you get, and we're all over the place. This is highly typical for where I live. But so it's lovely out today, and for the rest of the week, it will probably be pretty crappy. So that is February in the Midwest. I hope that you are doing well. I had a great weekend. I finished a lot of things, crafty goals that I meant to finish, and I went and did a dye day at my friend Christine, Treasure Goddess's yarn barn, or barn, and I unfortunately don't have anything to show you because, so when you dye fiber, there are many, many steps to it. One is that you apply the dye, which is basically what the class was about, but then you usually have to set it. Often that involves heat, particularly when you're working with animal fibers, and then you want to let it cool back down so that you don't felt it, and then you want to rinse it out so that you're sure to exhaust all the dye. And of course, those are not steps we could all do in one day. So basically, we painted a bunch of stuff and left it, and Christine is going to go ahead and steam it and rinse it and process it for us, and she's going to give it back to us at the retreat, which is this coming weekend. So I will say, I'll talk for 2 seconds about it. We had a really great time. It was 4 hours in the morning. We actually, surprisingly, I had anticipated, because Christine Treasure Goddess Yarn is a full-fledged dyer, and she primarily dyes with chemical dyes. I had anticipated that it was going to be a chemical dye day, and part of the reason that I was interested in going is because chemical dyes can be dangerous in terms of when you mix the powders. You're supposed to wear a respirator to do it because the dye particles can get inhaled into your lungs. They're very, very tiny particulate, and it's really, really bad for you. And also because chemical dyes require that you use your own separate containers, heating implements, etc., to ward off against cross-contamination. Whereas you can also do something called dyeing with food dyes, which is Kool-Aid, food coloring, Wilton's cake dyes, and a variety of other food-safe dyes. And if you dye with those, you can dye in any of your implements, your crock pot, your dishes, your microwave, anything that you already use on an everyday basis. And so actually the surprise was that we dyed with food-safe dyes. And we dyed with gel dyes, and she ordered each participant a package of, it came with 8 colors in there, and so you got to kind of combine them and see what you could create. And I used sort of my knowledge from past dyeing experiences where I went in with no idea what colors I wanted to create and trying to put a lot of different color on the fiber. And for the most part, I stuck to either sections of the color wheel or I stuck to some very, very specific, like 2 or 3 specific colors I was trying to create. So I'm very excited to see the results. I will talk about it a little bit more when I get back after next weekend's retreat and I get those things back. I'll talk about what I did to dye them. And so it was a lot of fun. I got done about 1 p.m. and came home. I had lunch with my husband, and then we just hung out in the afternoon. And then yesterday I got up early, I exercised, and that gave me the rest of the day to just hang out and knit. I don't have a quilt in progress, and I'm not exactly sure when I'm going to start my next one because I do have some quilting retreat plans at the end of the month. I did finish a spin, which I will show you in a bit, and then I did get a lot of knitting done. So I was very pleased with that. And let's just go in so that I can show you what I did. I think this is going to be a somewhat short episode because even though I have some things to show you, I don't have like a ton. We'll see. So the first thing that I want to bring in is I'm actually going to bring in my mannequin, and let's see, I thought this might be easier for you to actually see. I finished my sweater. So this is the turtleneck. Here, there we go. That gives you a really good color approximation. This is of course the scale is really off, but I realized that if I just held it up and showed you, you wouldn't be able to see what the shape was because it's just kind of a blob, and I wasn't quite ready to wear it. I probably could have actually given the weather, but I wasn't quite ready to wear it today. So this is the turtleneck tube vest. It is a pattern designed by Stephanie Jappel. And it is a remake of something that was in her Fitted Knits book. And I want to say her Fitted Knits book was out around 2007, 2008. And she has expanded the sizing. She changed the base yarn just slightly. And so she has made it so that you can wear it either as kind of a turtleneck tank top, or you can make it a little bit more like a vest and wear it over other items, depending on your gauge, your sizing, how much extra ease you put into it, etc. And she recently redid the pattern using my friend Christine Treasure Goddess's yarn, and this is a little tea stained because of the accident that just happened. But this is Treasure Goddess yarns, and this is her Yak Silk DK Treasures, which is a blend of yak silk and superwash merino, and it is 231 yards to 100 grams, and I would say I used between 2.5 and 2 3/4 balls of yarn on this. That's because it does not have sleeves, which is really great. So for those of you who find sleeves to be sort of a limiting factor, the top is knit all in one piece. Basically, you start at the top with this kind of faux turtleneck, and you rivet, and then you do some increasing for the back and the front. You split and knit separately for just a little bit, and then you join again in the round. And the details on this are really nice because she makes use of some ribbing both on the side panels and then kind of up on the edges and then down on the bottom. And the nice thing about that is that ribbing gathers, so it gives you some gathering like around the waist and on the sides, and it creates a very flattering line, as you can see on the mannequin. And I went ahead and knit stockinette stitch, and then my turtleneck tube vest is finishing at about mid hip length, which is actually what I really wanted it to. I like slightly longer tops, and so this is ready to wear with black pants. You can kind of dress it up or down as you want. It can be layered, it can be worn with jeans. The yarn is Treasure of the Emerald Isles, which is this absolutely, I'm letting the sun in so you can see, it's this absolutely stunning green. I do have, there is a picture that I took outside in the sun. It is on the title card for this episode, the thumbnail, and then I also it will be on Instagram and a few other places. So that is my turtleneck tube vest. I would totally knit another one. I may again one day. I'm not going to cast on another one just yet, but it was a lovely, well-written pattern. I did, spoiler alert, I did actually tech edit it, but I do not take a portion of the sales or the knit along. I just joined the knit along because I wanted to support my friends, and Stephanie is wonderful and has some really great patterns. So that is my finished object, and I'm very pleased to say I finished that last night. So the other goal that I had for this week, I'll just move that out of the way now. The other goal that I had for this week was to finish the first of my mom's socks, and I met that one as well. I finished this off last night. This is basically the pattern for the Hocus Pocus socks by This Handmade Life. It is a free pattern. It was designed basically, I think, for a Halloween knit, and the original sample is in orange and green, but I just really wanted to take the fun cable and kind of add my own yarn. So I knit it basically as written. It's a 2x2 cuff, and then this great cable pattern down one side of the sock. It's only down one side, so the other side I will mirror it. And then I did a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then I went down to the toe and stopped the cable right before the toe, and then did a rounded toe. So I didn't really follow the pattern other than, well, actually I didn't follow the pattern at all, because I made it a different size. The sizing in the pattern suggests for a women's medium, and I really wanted to make it for a women's small because this is for my mom and she has very small feet. So basically I just took the cable panel. So everything else is my standard vanilla sock. I just wanted a little bit of interest, and it was just enough that it was nice. And so I need to cast on and do the second one. This yarn is, it doesn't have a colorway name, at least not as far as I can tell. There probably was one, but I can't find the tag. The sock yarn is Wild, W-Y-L-D, by Moon Rover Fibers, and she stopped dyeing a while ago, but she dyed lovely yarns and fibers, and this was a cake that I had, this was yarn that I had caked up from a previous project, and it didn't work for whatever I was trying to do, so I caked it up and used it for me, and it's got pink and a little bit of purple and this lovely kind of warm gingerbready brown, and then it's got this real light blue. So that is the first one done. I have not started the second one yet. I will get to that. That is this week's project. So I'm very pleased to have finished the turtle. That's kind of it for knitting today. I'm very pleased to have finished the turtleneck tube vest. I now am going to go back to my hipster top by Joji Locatelli. And so my goal for this week is the second sock, and then maybe, I don't know if I'll finish the hipster top because I have quite a bit going on this week, and so I'm just not sure I'll have enough time to finish it, but I am getting pretty close to the end of it. My guess is a few more inches on the body, and then I'm going to run out of yarn. So those two will be the next, and then I'm going to pick up that blanket that I was working on for my niece. I have sort of slated the rest of February to be about finishing works in progress. I have one that I need to rip. I want to get back to that blanket, so and then I want to finish that top and these socks. So that is probably the knitting for the next couple weeks, and then I have some new ideas for March. So yeah, so that is that one. On embroidery, I am almost done with my stocking project. I didn't quite make it last night. I thought I might, but I didn't. So I am very, very close. All I have left is the middle of this W here. I have this little bit down at the bottom, and then I need to do the swirl, and then I am done, and that will finish all 4 stockings. I will definitely finish this week, and I will bring back all 4 next week to show you the set before I put them away. I didn't quite make my before the end of January, but that's fine because, like I said, February is all about whips, whether they're long-term or short-term, and so I will go ahead and finish these this week. So that is kind of it in terms of knitting and embroidery. The last thing that I have is a little bit of spinning. I finished the red skein of yarn that I was, and it is really this bright and is probably kind of blowing out the screen. The color's probably not quite accurate. I did finish spinning the red fiber. This is 100% Tarhi, and it is from Treasure Goddess as well. It was a braid that I just couldn't resist actually when I bought the green for the sweater, and so I have spun this up. It is a lovely semi-solid braid, and my guess is it will have about 330 to 350 yards when I am done, and it has not been washed. I literally just skeined it off the wheel today. That was during the time, or during skeining it was actually as I was twisting it up. That was when I knocked my tea over. So this one needs to be washed and photographed and will go in the shop. I do actually have my next braid picked out to spin, but I didn't bring that to show you today because I am taking my wheel and all my bobbins to the retreat this weekend, and I will be learning how to spin a variety of samples and we'll be playing things. So I want to keep all my bobbins clear, and I don't want to be like in the middle of a spin. So I'm going to take the wheel with me this week, and then I will start another braid of fiber when I get back from the retreat, either something that I get at the retreat, or I will pick out the next, or I have picked a braid that I should start working on, and that one will also be for the shop. So this is kind of an in-between week where I'm working on a lot of things. Work is kind of busy, and then I'll be taking Friday off to go to the retreat, so I'm trying to get everything done in advance this week, which makes each of the days a little bit more work. So I hope that you are doing well. I hope that you are feeling crafty and kind of surviving where you are. Life here is really, really chaotic between work and everything that's going on in the world. I almost can't keep up with everything that's going on. So I will just say, I hope you are well. I hope your tea remains in your cup and not all over the floor. I hope that you are not having a case of the Mondays, which is what I feel like I'm having. And when I see you next time, I hope that you will have some creative, crafty juices flowing. So I will say, until I see you again, happy crafting. Screw the sipping because it got in the way today. And have a good week. Bye.